Hey, what's up everybody? It's Mike B with Bombero Bus, and today I'm gonna put in or start the process of installing those drop spindles. They're from CB Performance. I've never done this before. I went ahead and got some new kingpins and bushings and some new link pins also. I'm lucky enough to have a buddy who has the reaming tool for this. No one ever wants to buy it because it's expensive, and then you use it once, maybe twice in the lifespan of your V-dub. So for me, I'm a DIY, and if I never do this again, I want to do it at least one time on my own. If you're looking at this mess, this is the engine build that, I hope you have seen, and I'm still at a dead stop waiting for those heads. So let's get out to the barn and move forward with this. But in fairness, I'd like to let you know now, this is not a how-to video in that sense. I'm not going to show you every move I made to get this job done. I'll show you how I got them off, and then the end result and, the effects of it after that. So let's get out there to it. Oh yeah, happy with that. Hey Maui, you gonna follow me to the barn? I know you. When I get done with that 1800, I don't know if I'm gonna put it in the bus or the bug. And so in this case, it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And the engine in this bus was recently built before I got it, and it's just running like a dream. So I wanna just leave it alone. I don't wanna go pulling it and messing with it. So I'm thinking that the new engine is the 1800 is gonna go into the bug. Also, it's not a universal case. It would have to be tapped for the mustache bar in this bus. So I'm thinking it's gonna go into the bug, and I'll at least break it into the bug. I don't really like the idea of breaking it in this bus anyway. And then again, the way this has been driving, I think I'm going to go the route of, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And we're going to leave Roxanne alone for a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to pull up to the barn. I'm not going to bore you with the taking apart of, taking the wheels off and pulling the knuckle off. But just mostly focus on the finished product when I get done. And do a little before and after. Okay, let's get this thing started. Got it jacked up. I'm gonna get in here with a little light and show you one thing about the 65. I'm for sure it was the last year for the King and Link pin beams. So I went ahead and got some PB Blaster. Gonna let that sit for a little while on that nut. And there's another one like it right there. So those two will have to come off, and then I'll spin these link pins around to get the bolts out and pull that carrier off. Okay, got the wheel off, and first look at that. Pretty obvious that we do a lot of dirt road dubbing around here. I went ahead and did my due diligence there on that castle nut with the PB Blaster. So I'm gonna pop this tie rod off and go from there. Now we got the wheel nuts exposed. Went ahead and bent back one of the tabs. The other tab is there. So I'll go ahead and be the guy who probably does it and remind us that, the driver's side is a reverse thread. So I'll probably be the one to still get down there and turn it the wrong way, but that's a good point. Reverse thread on the driver's side. I'm pretty pleased with that. There's the first look at after taking off the drum. If you remember the video where I redid these brakes. So pads seem to be wearing well. There's not a tremendous amount of brake dust in there, so they felt good. I don't think I'm gonna mess with them. First of all, on the castle nut here, we did the old trick where you reverse it and tap up on it and it wouldn't give. So put a bottle jack underneath there and ended up hitting down on the knuckle, and that popped it off. But what's really cool is Santa put a stocking stuffer in here. And this is 15 mil. We need to get those off. And we went ahead and took the chance to see if this thing actually works. And it worked. Okay, now we got these two nuts off. They were 17s and they're bolts right here and the same down there. So those have to come out, but what I have to do is turn these link pins to just the right angle so that the bolt will come out. So that's what I'm going to do next. And the bolts are out now. That was easy. This here just takes a little turn, a little twist to the right, and that bolt pulls right out. So the upper and the lower are both out now. So of course, in theory, that means this should just pull right out, but everybody knows it's not gonna. I'm gonna have to hit these pins from the other side, start creating a gap. Might even need that tool right there, but we will get it out. And there you have it, my friends. One driver's side. Spindle is out. Kingpin carrier. These are important. So I'm pretty sure that with the new link pins came these, but you know, you want to pay attention to, they got to be there, in the orientation of them. That one looks pretty good. That one looks a little beat up, but usable. But I think I got some that came with the link pin, and we'll get into all that as we move forward. But for now, that one's out. Same thing needs to happen on this side, and I won't show you that. I'll just bump it up a little bit and get back to you. All right, I got the bottom link pin out, and I'm really just recording this for posterity, but on the top of it, there's this O-ring, and it fits inside there. And then this goes like that, and there were two spacers in there. I think it was two. No, three spacers in there. And then when the link pin came out, let's see how many I got here on the other side. And this is important to the spacing, setting it up. And I'm gonna have to do the math on the new ones anyway, but this is just interesting to note. There was 3, 4, 5 shims on that side. Yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna just try to pound this link pin bushing out, and gonna try to do it with a socket, but you have to take note that this is the bushing, so I don't want a socket that fits all the way out here and be pounding on that. You want to just be hitting on that, and it'd be better to press it out. And I do have a buddy with a press, but it's Christmas Day. I'm not gonna interrupt him, so I'll tap on this and see if we can get that out. All right, not gonna lie, that's my first time doing that. Both of those link pin bushings are out, and they look really good, but that's all it is. What size is this socket? 11/16 right there, tapped it straight on out. Now, I don't think the kingpin is gonna be as polite, but we're gonna start working on that next. There it is, the kingpin is out, and we used this and started with this. This didn't work, so we got a BFH, and that got it out. And it looks to be in really great shape also. So my new kingpin and link pins and bushings are all still in the wrapper. That's where we're at. Got the other spindle here. Gonna start putting it together, and we'll get back to you. Okay, there it is. Job is done. And I felt this shot gave the best comparison between the two. If you remember Sophie, the yellow bug, she's got a 2.5-inch drop spindles on there, along with a narrowed beam. This one, Jimi Hendrix, has the stock beam and just drop spindles on those drum brakes. So for me, that's a good enough drop. What it did was give the car a little bit of rake now, which doesn't bother me. I might still find a way to lower that back a little bit, thinking about the ways to do it, because what I don't want to do is angle my axles to where oil can't get out. to the ends of them. So I might just drive it like that for a while. But let me tell you what happened is these stock tires that came with it, you know, they need to be replaced, but just a little bit of rubbing, I mean, it doesn't take the car off the road, and it has to be at a really steep turn. Like, you have to have it turned full right or full left and be going over a bump, so it's drivable that way. So if you have a stock beam and you just with drum brakes and you want to put 2.5-inch drop spindles on it, that's all you'll have to deal with. And like I said, it's not a deal breaker. I'm still going to drive it probably almost on the daily. So there's a better view of the rake I'm talking about. This one's been re-indexed, you can tell, and this one hasn't. So, you know, I don't mind that rake. Drives well. It drives as good as it did before I put the drop spindles on it. So all that talk about the geometry, you know, not messing up your ride appears to be true for me. I didn't have to realign it. The tie rods went right back where they were. To me, it drives better now. So there you go. If you just heard that scraping, you noticed that the wheel was in a hard turn, which it has to be, and I went over the bump. And honestly, that happens on Roxanne too, in the same scenario. So from what I can tell, if you have a stock beam with drum brakes and you use the 2.5-inch drop spindles, you can still use your original tires. You'll just have a little bit of scraping on the fender well here when you have it in a hard turn and going over a bump. And what these equal are 185/70 R15s. So it's so minimal that, and I need new tires anyway, that if I just go down a little bit, I don't think I'll have any issues at all. So, you know, there's an example of what's going to happen to you if you want to put some drop spindles on your Bug with those stock tires. And I just drove it. Where did I drive it? Up to the post office to pick up that package. You can see the CSP on there. Guess what's in it? Another bell crank linkage. So I won't make a video on the bell crank linkage install. I already kind of did it with this car. But that's going to be for Roxanne, the bus. And what I might do there is just show you how I tune. I might start from scratch and show you how I tune the dual EPC 34 carburetors. So that's it for the drop spindle video. If it helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe. But either way, thanks for hanging out with Bombero Bus, and see you on the next one.